Hi, I'm James Kwan, and we're here in Maryland, where Supporting Strategies has helped a wide array of clients. First, we go to Direct Dimensions, a company that's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible in 3D scanning. Then we head to Comfort Cases, a nonprofit that provides dignity for those in the foster care system. After that, we visit the Santé Group, who assists in building better lives for those dealing with mental health issues. Lastly, we go to Topgolf to celebrate a very special anniversary for a very special managing director. This is a trip to Maryland by Supporting Strategies Productions.
The trip started with a flight to Baltimore and a one-night stay in the city's inner harbor. After getting settled in and resting up, it was time to get to work.
All right, so it's about 8:30 here in Baltimore. I'm about to go get some breakfast, wrap up some work, finalize my interview questions, and then hopefully meet up with Nick later in the day.
The place I'd meet up with Nick was actually a little outside the city in Owings Mills, which is also the location of our first client.
I caught him a little late.
got enough stuff in it. I think it's big enough.
Oh, it's definitely big enough. This is nice. All right, the party has officially started.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
We both got checked in and prepped for our client visits. Early the next morning, we had a quick breakfast before heading to Direct Dimensions, a client that specializes in 3D scanning. We got right to work setting up our equipment, and Managing Director Steve Barber was able to join us as well. After we got everything situated, we sat down with the man that started it all.
My name is Michael Raphael. I run Direct Dimensions. I'm the founder and CEO. So Direct Dimensions is all about taking things in the physical world and making them digital, putting them into the computer. We're all familiar with 3D printing, which is all about taking things from the computer and making it physical. We do the opposite. We take things in the physical world, we put them into the computer. You name it, we scan it.
Looking at the shelves behind him, I knew the mission here was pushing the boundaries of their industry. I wanted to know how we help this company focus on that task.
Given all the time you guys have to spend on innovation and all the various clients, I kind of want to start speaking upon like our relationship between Supporting Strategies, Direct Dimensions, because I imagine that this innovation takes up all of your guys' time. Like there's a lot to do. Bringing in Supporting Strategies, how does that kind of help you guys focus on the task at hand here?
Yeah, and that's a great question. So I think, sadly for me, it was many years into the running of this business where I realized I needed more help coming in on a Saturday or a Sunday to get paperwork done, to reconcile the bank statements. The idea of bringing in a resource, an external resource that I trust, that I know has done this for thousands of other companies, was very important for me. We met Supporting Strategies and our franchisee through a mutual connection who introduced us, and we started a relationship very soon, and very quickly I saw the writing on the wall that this was what I needed to help to grow the business.
After hearing Michael's story, I needed to see what they had going on in his laboratory.
So I think as we head into the lab, one of the things to point out would be these movie posters that we are proud to showcase. These are 4 of some of the bigger movies that we've worked on. We've probably worked on about, I think it's close to 75 movies over the last 10 or 12 years. But these are the 2 biggest movies ever made up until the most recent Avatar. But Marvel's Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, which were giant projects for the movies production industry as well as us, where we did 2.5 years worth of work between these 2 movies. So we're heading into our lab, and in our lab we scan using a whole variety of tools, and we're going to see some of those operate right now. So over here we have a mechanical arm that you move around manually, and it has a laser scanner on the end, and we actually can scan the object straight into the computer and be able to reproduce that helmet digitally. And Sam's going to demonstrate a handheld scanner that we use. It's super portable, it's great for the interiors of vehicles, aircraft, and you can actually see some of that right now on the screen as he's showing that. There it is, that's beautiful. Sort of behind us is the elephant in the room, I like to say, because it is a big environment. And what we're looking at is a camera system that instantaneously captures the shape of people. So in this case, we have 160 high-res cameras.
3, 2, 1.
All right, Kevin. That's it. So now 160 pictures are now streaming into the computer, and we will then hit a button and reconstruct into 3D. And right here we have our PASS system. PASS stands for Part Automated Scanning System, which we developed for a customer that has thousands and thousands of parts that they needed scanned. You simply put a small part on the turntable and you hit the go button, and it spins around and actually captures that with a series of cameras, and then it automatically then converts the 2D photos into a 3D object. So this is an interesting scanner that we use to capture buildings and large facilities, large structures, large terrain and sites. As it turns, it spins a laser that goes over 100 meters and can scan everything it sees in a spherical sense.
After the lab, Michael showed us all the ways his company uses the data they gather. The whole process was fascinating, but we had to head out to our next client. So we said our goodbyes, stopped for a quick lunch, and headed to Comfort Cases. As a nonprofit that helps foster kids all across the country, I was excited to meet the founder, Rob Scheer. As we arrived, he was already in action, giving a tour to some volunteers.
The fact that in our system, only 54% of kids graduate that are in our foster care system. My husband and I truly believe that education is the pathway for success. We know that the statistics are against us. We know that only 54% of kids in foster care graduate high school. We know that only 11% will actually fill out a college application. And we know that only 3% get a college degree. This right here shows the map where we have delivered all of our cases. And as you can see, we have combed the entire country. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn you all over to Blaze, and then he's gonna show you how to pack cases.
Right off the bat, I knew he possessed a contagious energy and liked to move with pace and efficiency. We tried our best to match that energy and wasted no time in setting up his interview.
I'll make sure that all that cursing I was doing over there, because how hot it is, make sure you delete all that. So Comfort Cases is actually a case that gives hope and dignity to our youth who are entering our foster care system. I don't think people realize how shattered our system is. Just recently, I was in Tampa, and there was two little girls, 9-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they were getting the case. And I asked the same question that I ask kids all over the country. I said, what's your favorite thing in the case? Most of the kids always say their stuffy or their book or their, oh, look at this coloring book. But this girl pulled out and she said, my toothbrush. I said, how could that be your favorite thing in that bag? And she said, my sister and I, we've been sharing a toothbrush for the last month. It's not acceptable that a kid comes into the system because of a choice that someone else made. And we can't even be open-minded enough to say, hey, by the way, do both of you have your own toothbrush? It's a difference. And I know it.
I could see that Rob and Steve regarded each other as friends. Rob also had nothing but good things to say about the work Steve has done for him.
I'll scream it at the top of the mountain. The day that I met Steve was the day that I had the biggest weight take off my shoulders. Seriously, as someone who runs a nonprofit, who has to watch every single dollar, I want to make sure that when someone donates $1 to me, that it's actually going to the cause. See, the fact is that 97 cents of $1 with our organization goes to our mission. Why? Because of people like Steve.
After the interview, we were able to pack some cases for the kids, which was awesome. Steve and his FOD, Sharon Richardson, were first, then Nick hopped in, and even I was able to pack one myself. We left as Rob took a picture with his volunteers, then headed back and rested up. The next day, we visited our last client, the Santé Group.
All right, so 2 down, 1 to go. I think this is it. We got 10 minutes. How do you think these have gone?
I think it's been great. I've been loving what we've been seeing from these guys, the kind of heartwarming Comfort Cases story, and then feel like Michael's place was, there's a lot of innovation and crazy things happening. So yeah. I'm excited for this last one. I'm excited to talk to them, see what they got cooking.
We unloaded the van one last time before heading in to meet Michelle.
I would describe our services as a continuum of care for individuals that experience behavioral health challenges.
In the midst of you being here, there's been some great highs and great lows. Is there particular success stories that kind of poke out to you in your mind that you're like, oh, that's why I do this, that's why I come in every day?
There's so many, so many of those. The stories that really resonate for me are individuals that will call us back after we've gone out to see them and say, you really saved my life. When I called you, I was ready to die and maybe at my rock bottom with substance use, but I'm clean now, right? Or when I came to you, I was homeless. I have a home now. Those are the stories that motivate me. Those are the stories that help us remember this is why we're here.
Their mission was inspiring for sure, and I want to know how supporting strategies helped make it happen. We brought in Najla from the Rock Creek Foundation, who's a sister company with the Santé Group, to discuss that.
We went from a black hole of no communication to responsiveness to Michelle's point, not just responding to Michelle or myself, but responding to questions of our other staff, having other finance team members respond that had never communicated before. So it just opened up full communication, I think, in an existing team that was here.
Meeting Michelle and Najla was great, but before we knew it, we were back on the road so we can arrive at Steve Barber's anniversary event, which was taking place at a local Topgolf. When we arrived, we brought a very special guest, our own CEO, Leslie Jorgensen. The surprise meant a lot to Steve, who had no idea that Leslie was going to make an appearance. With all the great work he does, Leslie had no problem coming by and making Steve's day. The party was decked out with supporting strategies merch, as employees, Chamber of Commerce members, and many others rubbed elbows. Steve gave a great speech, cut the ceremonial ribbon, and enjoyed the company of his peers, who had a lot to say about his milestone.
Happy anniversary! Great 5 years!
Happy 5 years to you, Steve. I cannot think of anybody who deserves this more than you.
Happy anniversary, Steve. I couldn't be more happy and more excited for you. You deserve all of it, man. You deserve all of it.
It was nice meeting people in person as we pretty much all work remotely. We were even able to hit some golf balls together, which was the perfect end to the night. All in all, we got a lot done on the trip and had a great time doing it.
What are you aiming at? What am I aiming at? I'm going to tell you after it lands.